There comes a moment in every person's life when they must decide what they will be loyal to: the world they can see or the world they can imagine. Most people stay trapped in the prison of their current circumstances, believing that what exists right now is all that is possible for them. But those who rise, those who become truly wealthy in mind, spirit, and finances, are the ones who learn the greatest secret of creation: reality bends for the one who refuses to be controlled by it. If you want to become super rich, you must shift your focus away from what is and place it entirely on what you desire to be. Your senses will try to convince you that your current bank balance, your current job, your current opportunities are the truth. But they are nothing more than shadows, echoes of old thoughts, old states, old assumptions. The life you are living right now is only a reflection of who you used to be. It has nothing to do with who you choose to become next. The wealthy, the truly abundant, do not worship physical facts. They worship possibility. They understand that imagination is not a fantasy. It is a preview of reality waiting to be claimed. When you focus on lack, you multiply lack. When you focus on wealth, you call it into form. When you mentally live as though you are rich, calmly, confidently, without force, you begin to vibrate at the level of abundance, and the universe has no choice but to mirror that back to you. Shift your loyalty from the outer world to the inner world. When the mind accepts wealth as your natural state, reality rearranges itself to match it. You will meet new people, new opportunities will appear, ideas will come to you in ways you never imagined, and doors that were once invisible will open effortlessly. Money flows to those who see themselves as the source of it, not the seeker of it. Whenever doubt creeps in, return to the inner image. Feel the financial freedom as if it is happening now. Picture yourself making decisions from abundance, not fear. Speak like someone who is already wealthy. Think like someone for whom money is normal. Act from the state you desire, not the state you wish to escape. Your outer world will fight you at first. It will whisper, "Look at your situation. Be realistic." But realism is the enemy of transformation. Reality only changes when you ignore it long enough to give your imagination time to recreate it. You become rich the moment you shift from asking, "How will it happen?" to confidently assuming, "It is already mine." The universe does not respond to need, it responds to assumption. It responds to the state you occupy. Live inwardly as the person who already possesses the wealth you desire, and soon you will see that money, opportunities, and success are not things you chase. They are things you attract simply by being aligned with them. Detachment is your superpower. The less you look to the physical world for confirmation, the faster it changes. Do not react to delays. Do not argue with appearances. Hold the inner vision so consistently that the outer reality feels temporary, weak, and irrelevant compared to what you know within. Your imagination is the workshop of riches. Your focus is the currency that buys your future. And your inner state is the magnet that determines how much wealth you receive. Shift your focus away from the old reality. Withdraw your attention from problems. Place your energy on the life you want and watch the world reshape itself around your new state of being. To become super rich, you must develop the courage to stop bowing down to what your senses report. Your outer world is stubborn only when you treat it as the authority. The moment you stop giving it the power to dictate your future, it becomes soft clay in your hands. Wealth is not created by working harder. It is created by thinking from a higher state of being. A person who feels wealthy will always outperform a person who feels poor, regardless of their circumstances. You rise not by force, but by inner alignment. Shift your attention away from your fears, your doubts, your bank statements, and your limitations, because every time you focus on them, you reinforce their existence. What you look at grows stronger. What you ignore dissolves. Your reality is responding to your focus every second of your life. There is a psychological law at play. You cannot occupy two states at the same time. You cannot feel poor and attract wealth. You cannot think small and receive big blessings. You cannot wake up every morning feeling defeated and expect the world to treat you like a champion. You must choose. You must decide which identity you will pledge your allegiance to. The version of you who is struggling, or the version of you who is powerful, wealthy, creative, and capable of anything. The moment you choose the wealth identity, your vibration changes. And once your vibration changes, your life cannot remain the same. You must withdraw emotionally from the old version of yourself. Stop arguing for your limitations. Stop repeating stories of lack. Stop telling yourself what you can't do, can't earn, can't achieve. Every time you replay those stories, you breathe life into them. Instead, speak from the state you desire. Think from the place you want to be. Live as the person you are becoming, not the person you have been. This is the real secret to transformation. You must mentally occupy your desired future long before it arrives physically. When you do this consistently, your subconscious mind begins to believe the new story. And once the subconscious accepts something as true, it must appear in your physical world. Money is not attracted to effort. Money is attracted to certainty. People who become wealthy do not hope to be wealthy. They expect it. They assume it. They move through the world with an inner confidence that wealth belongs to them, that abundance is their natural environment. You must cultivate the same conviction. Not loud arrogance, but quiet knowing. You don't need to announce it to anyone. Just feel it. Let wealth become the air you breathe internally, long before the world sees it externally. When you internalize wealth so deeply that your nervous system relaxes in the presence of abundance, you set off a chain reaction that affects your opportunities, your decisions, your relationships, and your intuition. Once you shift your focus away from physical reality, you will notice something strange. Opportunities that were invisible suddenly begin to appear. You start getting ideas that feel like they come from nowhere. You run into the right people at the right time. A path opens that was not there before. This is not luck. This is alignment. This is what happens when your inner world becomes more real to you than the outer world. The universe rearranges itself to match your dominant frequency. The wealthy do not chase. They attract. They do not worry about timing. They trust their inner vision. They know that everything they desire is already moving toward them. You must practice the same faith. Faith is not hoping something will happen. It is assuming it has already happened in the invisible realm. When you assume it long enough, the physical world bends. Money is not outside you. It is an extension of your state of consciousness. If your inner state is aligned with abundance, there is no way you can fail. Do not let your senses hypnotize you. You are not seeing your life as it is. You are seeing it as it was. Everything around you is old news. It is a delayed response to old assumptions. If you want a new life, you must adopt new assumptions and stay loyal to them even when the world contradicts you. Especially when the world contradicts you. The contradiction is a sign that reality is dissolving and reshaping. When things appear to get worse, it is often because the old version of your life is being cleared away. Do not panic when this happens. Stay centered. Stay grounded in your inner knowing. Stay loyal to the new story. The fastest way to become rich is to become emotionally indifferent to your current limitations. Indifference is power. When you no longer react, you no longer reinforce. The moment you stop feeding your problems with emotional energy, they weaken. The moment you stop worrying about money, more money appears. The moment you stop chasing success, success starts chasing you. Your emotional state is the magnet. Your attention is the electricity running through it. Together, they create your reality. People often say, "I'll feel wealthy when I have money." This is why they never have money. You must feel wealthy first. Feeling is the cause, money is the effect. Everything in your life now was once a feeling, repeated enough times that it hardened into fact. The good news is you can choose new feelings. You can choose new assumptions. You can choose new inner conversations. And when you change those, your entire life must follow. If you want to be super rich, you must learn to live internally in the end state of wealth. Picture your ideal financial life. Imagine your bank account overflowing. Imagine making decisions from abundance. Imagine paying bills effortlessly. Imagine walking through the world knowing you'll always have more than enough. But don't just imagine. Feel. Feel the relief. Feel the confidence. Feel the freedom. Feel the expansion. Let your body believe it is happening right now. Because if you cannot feel it now, you will not experience it later. Visualization is not daydreaming. It is creation. Imagination is not fantasy. It is a preview of what you are building. When you visualize your wealthy self long enough, you start to think like them. When you think like them, you take actions they would take. When you take actions they would take, you get results they would get. But it all starts internally, not externally. Shift your attention away from the noise, away from the fear, away from the circumstances that are trying to convince you that you'll never have enough. Your circumstances do not know your future. They only reflect your past. Stop arguing with what you see. Start persuading yourself with what you feel. Your imagination is stronger than any obstacle you face. It has the power to rewrite your story, elevate your identity, and take you from survival to abundance. The truth is, money flows to people who are no longer desperate for it. Desperation pushes it away. Calm expectation pulls it in. You must learn to be the calmest person in the room, even when things are uncertain, especially when things are uncertain. Wealth loves a calm mind. Opportunities love a relaxed nervous system. When you stop trying to force outcomes and start trusting your inner world, everything comes with ease. If you want to become super rich, you must make an inner commitment. You will no longer let your outer world dictate your mood. You will no longer let your bank account decide your identity. You will no longer let your past decide your future. You are the operant power in your life. You are the cause. The world is the effect. Once you grasp this, you stop playing small. You stop waiting for things to change. You start living from the change. Imagine yourself wealthy so often that it becomes familiar. So familiar that it no longer feels like a dream. It feels like your baseline, your normal, your truth. That is the secret. Wealth must feel normal. The more normal it feels internally, the faster it shows up externally. When you first begin, it might feel strange. You might feel like you're lying to yourself. But keep going. Keep imagining. Keep feeling. Keep choosing wealth as your identity. Your subconscious will accept it the way soil accepts a seed. It cannot reject anything you plant often enough. Every time you enter the state of wealth in your mind, you shift your timeline. You step into a new version of yourself. You unlock opportunities that were invisible before. You collapse old limitations. You attract new experiences. You become a magnet for abundance, not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. You are always creating. Even when you are not aware of it, you are creating. Every thought, every assumption, every belief is building your future. So choose deliberately. Choose thoughts that empower you. Choose assumptions that lift you. Choose beliefs that open doors instead of closing them. You do not need to know how the money will come. The how is none of your business. Your only job is to remain in the state of the wish fulfilled. The universe handles the rest. Every wealthy person on earth, whether they know it or not, has mastered the art of assuming abundance. They expect good things to happen to them. They expect money to flow. They expect success. And because they expect it, it becomes their reality. What you expect, you create. What you assume, you experience. What you feel, you attract. So shift your focus away from the old reality, not because it is wrong, not because it is bad, but because it is outdated. It no longer represents who you choose to be. You are stepping into a higher identity now, an identity built on abundance, confidence, creativity, and wealth. Keep your inner eyes on that identity. Live in it, breathe in it, think from it, speak from it. And eventually, your physical world will rise to meet the vision you hold within. To shift your focus away from reality is not an escape, it is the only true form of power you possess. The world around you is slow, dense, and bound by time, but your imagination is immediate. It is limitless. It is the only place where your wealth exists before it takes shape. When you linger too long in the physical world, you allow your current circumstances to dictate what you believe is possible. But when you turn inward, you become the architect of unseen riches that are already forming in the invisible realm. The greatest mistake people make is believing that money comes from effort alone. Effort is only one small piece. The real source of wealth is the state from which you operate. You can work hard in a state of lack, and you will remain poor no matter how many hours you put in. But when you enter the state of abundance, internally, emotionally, energetically, your actions become guided, efficient, inspired, and profitable. This is why some people seem to attract money. Without strain, they are aligned with the version of themselves who already has it. The mind that is glued to the present reality cannot create anything new. It merely repeats the past. Every time you complain about your circumstances, you cement them deeper. Every time you fear your bills, you energize the state of having bills. Every time you say, I don't have enough, you command the universe to keep you in that state. But when you speak as though you already possess wealth, when you feel it as truth, your inner world becomes too powerful for the outer world to ignore. The physical realm bends to a determined inner identity. When you shift your focus from what is to what will be, you cross a threshold few people ever cross. Money begins to flow toward your conviction. Success gravitates to your confidence. Opportunities align with your identity. This is why your inner world must become your priority. Every thought is a seed. Every assumption is an order. Every feeling is a magnetic signal that pulls experiences toward you. Wealth is not created outside, it is accepted inside and then reflected outside. Most people observe their current life and assume it is real because they can see it and touch it. But that is only the result, not the cause. The cause is always the unseen, your beliefs, expectations, assumptions, and inner conversations. Reality follows your inner voice like a shadow follows your body. If your inner voice constantly speaks of lack, reality will obey. If your inner voice speaks of wealth, abundance, and limitless possibility, reality will adjust to align with the state you have claimed. You do not become rich by looking at your bank account. You become rich by holding the feeling of financial freedom so consistently that your bank account eventually rises to match your inner truth. You do not become rich by worrying about money. You become rich by living inwardly as the person who never needs to worry because wealth flows to them naturally. You do not become rich by chasing opportunities. You become rich by embodying the version of yourself that opportunities chase. Your senses will try to trick you. They will try to convince you that the physical world is fixed and unchangeable. They will point to the bills, the debts, the old habits, the slow progress, and say, "See, nothing is happening." But they are lying. They are outdated. They are only reflecting your old state, not your new one. Reality lags behind imagination. It takes time for the physical world to rearrange itself. Your job is not to react to the delay. Your job is to persist in the new identity until the outer world catches up. Every day, choose to mentally inhabit the state of financial abundance. Picture the freedom of choosing what you want without hesitation. Imagine the comfort of knowing money is always available. Feel the security that comes with having more than enough. Let that feeling dominate your inner world. Let it become normal. Let it become natural. When the feeling becomes familiar, reality will follow with mathematical precision. You cannot enter the state of wealth while simultaneously fearing your current circumstances. Fear is faith in the unwanted. It is the belief that lack has more power than abundance. You must withdraw your emotional investment from the unwanted state. If a negative situation arises, do not feed it with attention. Observe it lightly, then shift back to the inner world where you are safe, prosperous, and in control. The moment you stop reacting to the old reality, it begins to lose its power over you. Think of your imagination as the script and your life as the movie. The script always comes first. If you want a new scene, more money, more success, more opportunity, you must rewrite the script. You cannot change the movie by screaming at the screen. You change it by changing the script, and the script is written through your assumptions. Every time you assume you are wealthy, you rewrite a piece of the script. Every time you assume money comes to you easily, you rewrite another piece. Every time you assume you are worthy of abundance, your script becomes richer, bolder, and more powerful. Soon the entire storyline of your life shifts into alignment with your inner changes. You must train your mind to ignore physical evidence when it contradicts your vision. If your current reality does not match your desire, treat it as temporary. Speak as if wealth is already yours. Walk as if abundance is guaranteed. Think as if you have access to limitless opportunity. When you refuse to be moved by the lack you see, your imagination gains authority over your reality. The outer world is not your master, it is your reflection. And reflections only change when the original changes. You are the original. Reality is the mirror. If you want a new reflection, more income, bigger opportunities, better circumstances, you must change the image you hold within yourself. The mirror will follow. Money flows to identity. If you identify as someone who struggles, you will always struggle. If you identify as someone who is destined for greatness, greatness will gravitate toward you. Identify as someone to whom money sticks, someone who always receives, someone who cannot be denied wealth, and watch how quickly life reshapes itself. There are infinite versions of you existing in potential. One is rich, one is poor, one is average, one is wildly successful. You shift between these versions through your inner conversations and assumptions. When you decide that you are the wealthy version of yourself and persist in that identity, the world will have no choice but to reflect it. The more you shift your focus away from unwanted circumstances, the weaker they become. The more you shift your focus toward your imagined wealth, the stronger that version becomes. Eventually, the imagined wealth becomes more real to you than the physical lack. And when that happens, reality must conform. Let your imagination become your home. Let your desires become your truth. Live internally as the person you are becoming, not the person you used to be. You are not limited by your environment, your upbringing, or your past. You are only limited by the state you refuse to leave. The moment you shift into a new inner state, wealth, abundance, confidence, the universe responds instantly, even if the results take time to appear. Assume wealth so naturally that it becomes difficult to remember a time when you lacked. Assume abundance so deeply that it feels absurd to imagine life without it. Assume prosperity so confidently that your reality bends under the weight of your belief. The more real the inner world becomes to you, the more irrelevant the old outer world becomes. You are not here to be controlled by reality. You are here to create it. Your wealth exists the moment you claim it internally. Your abundance begins the moment you embody it emotionally. Your success becomes inevitable the moment you shift your focus away from what is and place it entirely on what you choose to manifest. And now, as you stand at the edge of the life you have known and the life you are meant to live, remember this truth: nothing in your reality has the power to define you unless you continue to give it permission. Wealth is not created by effort alone, nor by struggle, nor by endlessly fighting against circumstances. It is created the moment you decide, with unwavering certainty, that your inner world is the only authority over your future. The world may tell you to be practical, to be cautious, to be realistic. But greatness never came from realism. Riches never came from obedience to limitations. Transformation belongs to the one who dares to believe in the unseen long enough for it to become seen. You are not a product of your environment. You are the creator of it. The power that shapes universes, the intelligence that forms galaxies, the force that gives life to ideas, is the same force operating in you right now, waiting for direction, waiting for a vision strong enough to bring itself into form. When you shift your focus from what is to what can be, when you choose imagination over evidence and desire over doubt, you step into the identity of the Creator. And the Creator is never poor, never limited, never dependent on circumstances. The Creator commands reality through assumption, confidence, and unwavering inner belief. Let this be the moment you stop asking for change and start embodying it. Let this be the moment you stop waiting and start assuming. Let this be the moment you stop seeking external validation and begin trusting your inner knowing. Wealth is not coming to you someday. It becomes yours the instant you feel worthy of receiving it. And when you consistently return to this inner truth, reality has no choice but to bend, shift, rearrange, and reorganize itself around the state you have chosen. So step boldly into the identity of the wealthy. Not tomorrow, not one day, now. Live from abundance. Think from abundance. feel from abundance. Treat every thought as a seed, every emotion as a command, every assumption as the blueprint of the life you are constructing. Ignore the noise of the outer world and remain loyal to the riches you hold within. Because once your mind accepts wealth as normal, the universe delivers it as inevitable. You were never meant to live in scarcity. You were never meant to survive life. You were meant to create it. And the moment you choose to shift your focus away from the limitations of your current reality and into the limitless power of your imagination, you become unstoppable. You become aligned with abundance. You become a magnet for prosperity. You become the architect of a future so extraordinary that your old life will feel like a distant dream. Walk forward with certainty. Claim your wealth with confidence. The universe is ready to respond to the version of you who finally understands their own power. The moment you decide that nothing in the outer world can limit you anymore is the moment you become truly, irresistibly, permanently rich.